What's going on, Cubs fam? This is going to be a totally different video because obviously I'm in my car. I'm recording a video for you guys. But they just dropped this huge post while I'm at work, and I actually have 15 minutes that I can make a video on this real quick. And I want to react to this because it looks like they're making huge changes to Grand Arena. And so this format for this post is going to feel different because I've got the post right here on my iPad, and I'm going to read it and tell you guys what I think. So I'm finding this out live with you guys right now. And so this obviously explains why Grand Arena disappeared. And so I guess I'm going to have to forgive that. Also, I think it's nice. Chrome has 666 posts right now. Exactly. What does that tell you? Okay, hi, Holo Table Heroes. In this State of the Galaxy, we'll be covering some of the biggest changes to Grand Arena Championships and Squad Arena, that's huge, since their launch. As a character collection game, our emphasis on rewarding players for cultivating a broad set of unique squads and enabling players to use those squads against many different matchups in order to create a compelling long-term experience. Reaching new ranks after winning a challenge battle against your true peers should feel like a fun and exciting moment. The best place for this experience in our game is Grand Arena, and the changes we're announcing today are to continue to reinforce Grand Arena as the ideal mode to challenge a player's roster. As we continue to expand the foundation we laid down years ago, we want to give Grand Arena participants an exciting fight against your true peers that you can win if you fight hard enough. One of the largest changes to Grand Arena is matchmaking. All right. Matchmaking will be extensively reworked to be based on a ladder system with league changes occurring at the end of each season instead of throughout. Players will be matched based on their win and loss record. I think that's really good, by the way, via a new skill rating score, allowing players to freely grow their squads and GP without worrying about brackets to distinguish who's the most effective at using their roster. These changes, let's see here. These changes at this stage will be very important to the update. Crystal rewards will move from Squad Arena to Grand Arena. Oh my gosh, that is a huge change. This is a huge change for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, and there are many parts of Grand Arena that will be updated to smooth over this transition between two very different structures. That's going to be met with a lot of mixed reviews. I don't even know how I feel about that, and I love Grand Arena. There are many smaller changes to Grand Arena, such as timing for payouts compared to Arena. That will need to be adjusted to keep crystal rewards flowing at a similar rate and account for players who are not able to access Grand Arena. There's a ton of information to digest, so they're going to have a Q&A on December 2nd. We're going to need to pay attention to that. Okay, matchmaking. First, let's dive into how matchmaking will be reworked as it will implement many of the other changes discussed below. Grand Arena will now use a more traditional ladder system based on a skill rating. This means that your progress in Grand Arena is now detached from your GP, and you will climb the ladder over time instead of trying to reach the top each season. Each season will last 4 weeks, but players will now only move between leagues at the end of each season, and division changes will occur after each event. Upon entering the new GAC, players will be granted a starting skill rating based on their galactic power. Initial seeding of league and division is then based on skill rating. After that point, skill rating will only be updated through wins and losses during GAC. That is going to be a totally different way to look at this. And wow, okay. Your skill rating will be adjusted after each event, and the group of opponents you face will be matched based on your skill rating. All players that finish the season in Division 1, the top 10% of the league, are promoted to the next league up, and players in Division 5 of their league, the bottom 10%, will move down. And so we're relegating people like the Premier League, right? Note, you will not face another player outside of your league. Our goal with these changes is to build a better play field where players compete against more appropriate opponents to create a more exciting matchups, reducing the incentives for sandbagging or joining and then not participating. I love that they're trying to address that. This new matchmaking system will improve over time as it more accurately reflects your skill with your given roster after an event or two, but ultimately Kyber League should represent the very best players in the game who use their squads to the fullest. And so very nice. I really like this. And so it sounds like you're going to, once you get up to Kyber, if you get there, you're just going to kind of stay there. And then there's some more information in this graphic here that let's just read it. There are 5 leagues. I'm reading this graphic right here, which you guys can see as you follow along in the post. I'd encourage you to pull up the post if you haven't already, since I'm not able to show it on screen for this video. There are 5 leagues in GAC, and each league contains 5 divisions. At the end of each Grand Arena event, players move to higher or lower division depending on their performance. At the end of each Grand Arena season, players who finish in Division 1 are promoted to the next league. Yeah, so you're basically going to stay in that league. It's not going to reset every time, which I actually really like, because I kind of like to make Kyber and stay there instead of having it reset every time. Scoring changes. As part of these changes, we will also be adjusting how scoring works in GAC. The most significant change is that feats will be removed. Yes! Thank you! I hated feats in Grand Arena because I didn't want my wins and losses to be jeopardized by trying to go for a feat, so I just didn't go for them. Feats will no longer be removed and no longer play a part in division and league promotions. Who gets promoted up the ladder will be strictly based on the performance in the event itself. The rewards for feats will be moved elsewhere in Grand Arena, and more on that below. We'll also be making some changes to how players earn banners to encourage players to be more aggressive and fight on the map. Scoring changes. Feats have been removed. 10 banners for your first attack, regardless of if you win or lose. Okay. No longer earn a banner from setting defense. Ooh, that's interesting. Earn 1 banner for every unit that is defeated at the end of the round. This does not count for revived or summoned units. And then we have a table here that kind of summarizes all of those banner changes. Players will also need to achieve a minimum number of banner to earn rewards at different stages of the tournament. And so you have to earn at least 10 banners for each round, 20 for each event, and 20 for each season. Okay. Reward changes. With the larger emphasis on Grand Arena and part of moving crystals from Squad Arena, it involves how rewards are earned in Grand Arena. There are 4 types of rewards from Grand Arena now. The daily reward, which is new, the end of round, end of event, and end of season prizes. Players below level 85 will now receive an additional crystals from daily login prizes, and there's some of that below. For daily rewards, players will receive a GAC reward in their inbox. These rewards are based on their current league and division. Each round of rewards are based on if you won your round. Event rewards are based on the player's final event performance, their win and loss record, and then season payout is based on the player's final league, division, and ladder ranking. Each reward type is broken down in this table, and there's a lot to digest there. I'm not really going to dig into that right now for the sake of time. We'll have a lot more to do. Fortunately, Heinzie and I are recording Rogue Actions tonight, so we're going to break this down tonight in Rogue Actions for sure. I'm actually kind of glad we waited. Approximate daily averages are based on the GAC cadence. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Daily reward. With crystals moving to this mode, it's important that we keep the reward cadence and not require players to wait a week to receive all their rewards. The new daily reward from Grand Arena is based on your current league and division, and will update when you change leagues, basically. Per round prizing. As with the current system, winner and loser receive prizes at the conclusion of the 3 rounds in the event. These rewards differ by league and division and now include crystals. Round wins become increasingly more important at the higher leagues and division, ensuring each victory feels more rewarding at this harder level of competition. In addition to the above crystal prizes, rounds continue to pay out their existing championship token rewards. So you got 350 tokens for the win, 125 for the loser. End of event prizing is generally upgraded in addition to its prior rewards. End of event prizing now includes crystals, as well as a significant portion of the prior promotion and end of season rewards. As the prizing and this prizing is the same in all leagues and divisions, players who were previously in lower brackets should see additional prizes, particularly gear from this prize type. Crystals from the prize type are particularly significant in lower leagues and divisions, where they will make up for the larger share of total crystals available. This is intended to help strong players in these leagues feel rewarded and able to accelerate them versus their peers. And so we've gotten as much as 750 crystals for ranking high, 500, 250, and 100. We got Zeta. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of rewards in this. There's a whole table here you guys are going to have to check out. I think it looks really good. And oh my gosh, there's a lot of information here. End of season prizes are going to include crystals. Holy crap, if you rank that's crystals ranging all the way up to 2,500 crystals if you finish in the top, very, very top ranks, which I think is going to really change the landscape of Grand Arena. A minimum of 100 crystals at the end of season rewards. So here's some changes for Squad Arena. Squad Arena is no longer going to provide crystals as rewards. The mode will still be a valuable mode for many players to engage in. Squad Arena now is a focus for helping lower players get ready for Grand Arena. To this end, Squad Arena shipments now contain earlier gear. Wow! Oh my gosh, they're changing that store. Gear for Squad Arena tokens. This is disproportionately needed for newer players, and so that's not going to be as endgame. But still, existing Squad Arena shipments remain unchanged. We expect players to graduate their focus from Grand Arena to Grand Arena as soon as available. And so they've got a table here with all of the gear that's going to be part of that. I'll let you guys check this out. Additionally, as players who are below level 85 cannot access Grand Arena, daily activity rewards for players below level 85 have been increased by 50 plus crystals. Okay. And then how will this change my experience? I'm sure there will be a number of questions. How does it impact me on my gameplay? At a high level, the average player participating in Grand Arena should earn around the same number of crystals or slightly more than before these changes, but there will be an incentive to reach as high of a league as possible to get those crystals. For players who aren't ready for GAC, crystal rewards below level 85 will now be available from daily quests. This will be a close to some of the same inflow of crystals that you would have received previously from Squad Arena. Note that there are many ways players can reach a given galactic power. One might have a broad roster, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of different ways that you farm your roster. In terms of crystal rewards, many players will see a general improvement from crystals earned. For new players, Grand Arena now gives a larger number of players a chance to grow. There's so much here, and there's more tables here I want to give you guys a chance to look at. But quick thoughts. This is huge for the game. I need some time to digest this. I'm not going to give my full opinion right now. I will do that more in Rogue Actions once I've had a chance to really digest this. But I think my initial reaction is I think this is the direction the game needs to go in. But the transition is going to be tough because we're so used to that crystal income being in Squad Arena. And so moving that away from Squad Arena, I think is going to be met with a lot of resistance by the community. But I do feel like the main competitive game mode is Grand Arena. And so I think it makes sense to do this. I'm just anxious about this transition. So anyway, lots to unpack. Fill up the comments below. What do you guys think about this? Sorry for a weird format. This was just big enough that I was like, I have to make a video on this right now. I can't wait to talk about this with you guys. And so I'll be in the studio for Rogue Actions and we'll unpack it a little bit more for you guys. All right, guys. Love you, fam. As always, my brothers, don't forget that Han shot only